welcome to the PewterCast. Today is December the 4th, 2016. I am Brent Allen, your host. This is the InstantCast show for game number 12, where the Bucs flew all the way back out to the West Coast for, I don't know what, the fourth, fifth time this year, it seems like, to take on the San Diego Chargers. I got to tell you, San Diego has not been a bad city. Oh my gosh, we got somebody calling in right now. I'm going to do what I've never done before and take a call right now. You are right here on the InstantCast show. Thanks for calling in. Who are we talking with right now?
It's Bucs. It's Bucs Baller.
Bucs Baller. Jonathan, what's going on, my friend? How you doing?
I'm doing good, especially after this win.
Oh, man.
Ain't nothing better than having a day off and not getting pissed off with a headache.
Yeah, being able to wake up and not just be hungover because you had to do something to drink it away, right?
Yeah, it's better to drink to party than drink to have a headache.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, man. This certainly is. Man, I don't know when the last time was that we won 4 in a row. I think they had a stat on TV that said it'd been like since 2010 or something like.
I actually seen the stats because I was watching the game at Buffalo Wild Wings and talking to some of my peeps and stuff. They mentioned last time we won the playoff game was Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Last Super Bowl or last playoff appearance, 2007.
Okay.
2006 was the last time we won 4 straight that led to a 7-win season or more.
There you go. Hey man, that's fantastic because as of right now, we have beat last year's record. As of right now, no matter what happens for the rest of the year, we will be better than we did last year.
That's exactly my point that I've been trying to argue with some of these peeps.
Well, tell us, man, what have you been arguing out there? Because I know there's all kinds of craziness going on. What's been going on over there?
All right, so as of right now, watching some of this stuff, it seems like all of our football gods has blessed us this weekend. Arizona beat Washington. Saints and Falcons both lost. We won. We did our part. This was the perfect weekend for football. As of right now, we have clinched the number 6 seed.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that we've
right now.
Yeah.
Well, as of right now, we're the 6th seed. If the playoffs started today, we would have barely snuck in.
Right.
But here's the kicker. Come New Year's, we have to root for the Saints because they beat Atlanta. We win out. We win the division.
Right.
So there's always that. But getting back to my point, I don't know how many people know about it or how many people want to believe in it or whatever. But John Lynch is the one who started this. I don't know if you remember it after the Thursday night loss.
The one against Atlanta where we got routed. It was his Ring of Honor induction ceremony. That's the guy we're talking about right here.
Yeah, but here's the kicker, okay? After that loss, let me pull up my link I got here, right here. Lynch spoke to Derek Brooks not long after that, and this was all over 620 come that Monday morning. He says, "You're here, you're in Tampa. What the fuck is going on? The defense looked like shit."
Yeah.
And he pretty much challenged Derek Brooks to do something about it. That was coming off a loss after a 2-game winning streak.
Mm-hmm.
We've bounced right back. We have not lost a game since then.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
And you could arguably say our defense has stepped up.
If Derek Brooks not challenged this defense, our season would have been over already. Because there's no telling how if everything would have still lined up the way it did.
Right. Right.
And
do you know, Jonathan, let me ask you, do you know, let me ask, do you know, was Derek Brooks on the sidelines today? Because I know he's been on the sidelines for the last 3 games.
That I don't know. I haven't confirmed that yet. But like I said, I spoke with Chidi Ahonatu earlier because me and him have become close on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And he believes it too. He said pretty much said the exact same thing in a text to Dirk.
There you go.
He believes it too.
Yeah. Yeah, we talk a lot on the show about what it takes to change a culture, and we haven't dived into this a whole lot, but a lot of it is you have to have more than one person who buys in. You have to have more than one person who's a catalyst. It can't just be on Jameis's shoulders or Dirk Cutter's shoulders or Quan Alexander's shoulders. You've got to have a group of people buying in. And we've heard a lot of things that has changed about the defense specifically since that game that you're referencing, since that Atlanta game. I've not heard this one, but this one makes a whole lot of sense. And certainly, John Lynch going in, challenging Derek Brooks to turn around and challenge the team and be there. It makes more sense why, because I don't recall ever seeing the past Buccaneers on the sidelines as much or as frequently as we've seen them in the last bunch of games. To have them, be a presence, so to have that be a part of everything, because I know there was, the coaches kind of had to look at each other and they retooled some stuff. The players did some stuff where things got retooled, and of course there's the other kind of rah-rah stuff that the team has had between themselves. But for this to be something, man, that's a great point. And it just goes to prove why John Lynch and Derek Brooks belong in the Ring of Honor, and they're still impacting our Tampa Bay Buccaneers today.
Yeah, they do. And that's why Lynch challenged him, because he's sitting there saying, why is our defense looking like shit? And, our defense would never have allowed this, talking about our championship teams back then.
Mm-hmm.
Our defense never got blown out that bad.
Mm-hmm.
We never had games, and that's why he was challenging Brooks, saying, what the hell's going on? You live here. You're still in contact with the Bucs and walk around one Buc place and whatnot. So, that's why he was challenging him. And Cheaty said earlier, he's glad. But also, a couple weeks while we were still losing, I'd even question him. I was like, why don't you step up?
Mm-hmm.
You're a Bucs legend.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Some people want to say it, some people don't. But, him and Brad Culpepper is the one who Sapp had to rely on as help, just like Gerald's having to rely on Bears and Spence Small.
Mm-hmm.
But, and he even said that there are certain players that's not really welcomed, and they don't listen to the former players, which is also kind of sad. For him to be in part of the Bucs organization when they were winning, when they were with Dungy, all that kind of stuff, and to say that, they won't even take it into considerations or even let us even talk to the team.
Who is that? Who are you talking about? Can you tell us?
Cheaty. Because I spoke to him, and that's what he told. Yeah. That was a message that he was told, was that they'll pass the message on.
Huh. Interesting.
And it seems like if it's not Brooks, Sapp, or Lynch walking into the place and saying something, it seems like they're not going to listen. Who knows? But
I don't know. That's
like
certainly.
I said, I know it's a conspiracy.
I
believe that, but that came at the right moment, and they haven't lost, and they have played just like they used to play.
Yeah.
Since that's why I refuse to believe otherwise.
Yeah, man, it's a fantastic point, and it's I don't know anything about anybody that might be getting blackballed, but for the people that are coming in able to say something, able to get to the team, the Derek Brooks, the Warren Sapps, the John Lynches, those guys, Mike Allstott's, we need those guys, because those are guys that embody the spirit and the heart of the Buccaneers, and they know what it is, and they still have it within them today. And they've got to be able to pass that on to our current Buccaneers. For whatever reason, that spirit, that DNA didn't get passed on. Like it's like we missed a generation from 2003 to today. And we've got to get that reinvigorated into our current Buccaneers for doing that.
Let's see, something else I want to also believe too is that since Malcolm passed away, that has something to do with it too, because it seems like his sons they're not on the same level that Malcolm was. Malcolm actually tried to negotiate with players. He tried to big players and all this other stuff, and it's like, when you take a look at it, look at some of the players that we passed up in these drafts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could have had Gronkowski. We could have had, Luke Kuechly. I mean, we could have had all these huge stars that they passed up on for players that didn't pan out. But whereas Malcolm was there, he took the chances on some of these players. Look at. I know a lot of people talk shit about Aguayo, but look what Malcolm did. He was the one who drafted Martin Gramatica. And look how well that turned out.
Yeah, and those are the kind of things.
The thing is, Martin was a second-round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
So people need to lay off of shit-talking Aguayo.
Yeah.
He knows Martin. He's actually had help even before he became a Buck and when he was in Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
There's been people there because of his brothers that know him.
Yeah.
So,
people
just need to chill out and just let them do what they're doing, and we'll be watching football in January.
Yeah, we will. And, I think, say what you will about the current Glazers. I think the best thing that they're doing right now is as far as we can tell, they're laying off and they're letting Jason Light run the ship from the GM perspective, and they're not interfering too much as far as we can tell. I'm certainly not on the inside of the organization. I don't know what those private conversations are, but
I don't either, but
they're allowing Jason to run the ship, and that's what we want them to do, is let the guys that do football, and you guys just be really good owners and let the guys who do football. The best thing the Glazers could have done in the last year was look at Jason Light and say, hey, turns out our last bunch of picks for head coach didn't work out. How about you do it this time? And, of course, Jason Light went out and he picked Cutter.
Yeah, but see, we all kind of knew Cutter was going to be his coach.
Well, sure. But everybody was lobbying for it, right? Like the players were texting Jason saying, you got to keep Coach Cutter. Everybody not just knew, but they wanted it. We didn't just know it. We wanted it. We wanted Cutter to be the guy. We wanted him to be the guy who came in to replace him. And we all felt and thought that he could be the guy who could lead us back to glory.
Look at it this way. Last year as an offensive coordinator, he got a 6 wins. As a head coach, he got a 7 so far. The one problem that I have with the Blazers, as far as the Suns, Malcolm had the patience to wait out the losing seasons that we did have. He didn't just fire him because we didn't win right then.
Mm-hmm.
And that was their problem. What if they had gave Raheem Morris a chance? What if they'd have gave Shiano another chance? What if they would have gave Lovey another chance this year? Now, I don't really care for any of the 3 coaches, but what if?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they could have had another season, and they could have turned it around.
Certainly, what you're saying right there, what you're saying harkens back to Levante David's tweet. Now, what you're saying harkens back to Levante David's tweet last year as soon as Lovie Smith got fired. Was he said, how the hell do you expect us to put together a winning thing when you keep changing our coach every other time? Levante has been through 3 coaches, and I don't know how many different defensive schemes he's been through. And God forbid, all of that said, the past
he's went through a defensive scheme.
Exactly. And the past is the past. Let's let that be there. Let's look forward. God forbid Mike Smith gets picked up and gets offered a head coach position and he leaves next year, because we then have to bring in another defensive coordinator and go through another defensive scheme. My God, please, let's keep Ted Monken. Let's keep Mike Smith. Let's keep this team together, because the coaching staff is a team as much as the players are a team. Let's keep these guys together so we can carry this in to another year. We know at this point, hands down, Cutter's going to be back next year unless something really crazy happens.
Drastically changes.
Right. Cutter's going to be back, and I have
my point.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting to on my point. They need to leave Cutter alone.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they will.
At least have a third. If we make the playoffs, even if we lose first round, I believe that they're still going to give him a second chance. Even if we don't make the playoffs and we have a losing record again next year, he'll be back for a third year or longer.
Yeah.
Because, each year we gotten better.
Yeah, well, I've been lobbying that Cutter deserves his full contract of 5 years. You have to give him, in my opinion, not just a third year, but you've got to get him all the way out to his 5 years. And there's very few circumstances in which you would cut that short. In fact, I detailed that out. It was episode 3 called A Fans Only Meeting. And kind of the tagline was, here's when you want to fire Cutter immediately. And I don't mean fire him right now. I mean, if these things come to light, that's when you want to go ahead and cut bait. But outside of that, keep him for his full 5-year contract. And it's very few circumstances that would say to get rid of Cutter sooner than not. And I just don't think we're going to see any of those things come up. So, I think all of that's great. And we're sitting here at 7 wins.
You know, it's kind of bullshit because you can't expect a winning turnaround if you keep firing coaches. And I know this is going to sound kind of shady, but look at Jeff Fisher and how old he is. How often he's been around with the Rams.
Jeff Fisher.
Like, he just got another extension, and they stopped it.
Yeah.
And they gave him another extension because the Rams ownership believes he is going to be the one to turn it around.
Mm-hmm. And you take it away from the Rams. You look at what's going on with the Bengals, right? How long has Marvin Lewis been in, as head coach with the Bengals, and how long ago potentially should he have been fired? And they should have moved on, but they keep going back. And the Bengals, for as much as they've been making it to the playoffs, I think still have not actually won a playoff game under Marvin Lewis for the last 12 years. But they've been coming back on.
He's still there.
Right.
And it's because they keep doing better, and he barely hangs on.
Yeah. So
but, I mean, it's sad to say it, and I wish that, I hope that we don't lose the first round, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not end of the world. We did better than last year. We did better than 2 years ago and 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man, that's all super great stuff, and we're certainly gonna, we're gonna be on the lookout. I think come Black Monday or whatever that day is that they call, I don't think we as a fan base are gonna have anything to worry about, with the exception of potentially watching out for Mike Smith.
The exception is possibly losing Mike Smith, the head coaching job.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to keep that. Let's keep that team together. I think, Jason Light, I know you listen to every single episode of the PewterCast. My plea, and you hear Jonathan's plea and the plea of Bucs Nation as a whole, keep the team together. Do what it takes to keep not just the key players, but keep the key coaches. We got to keep these guys together. Jonathan, thank you so much for your phone call, man. I really appreciate your time calling into the show tonight.
No problem, guys.
All right, you have a great one. All right, guys. Hey, listen, that's exactly how the InstantCast show works. For everybody out there who is listening, this is a live call-in show. We're talking about your reactions, your feelings to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the game that we just had out in San Diego, where we beat the Chargers 28-21. Now, was this a dominating game? No. Was this a clean game all the way around? No. Was this a suffocating defense that we had? No. Was our offense completely on fire the entire team? No. But you know what? They put together a complete game, and they came out on top, and they closed out the game. And here's the big feeling I have coming out of this game, and I'm going to open up this phone line here in just one more minute. This game, to me, was a game of finishing. This is a game where we had to learn how to finish. We had to finish drives. This couldn't be like last week where we'd get into the red zone and everything would have to end in a field goal. We'd have to get it. We have to finish it as a touchdown. This is a game about finishing defensive drives. We've got to stop these guys. And we were doing pretty good with that last week, and I think we did mostly okay with it this week, though not as good as we did last week. This is a game where we have to learn how to finish games. We got to put games in. And let me tell you what, I have never seen a better finish to a game where they went in and they controlled that fourth quarter. They went in to be able to go out, run the clock, get that last final first down by Jacquizz Rodgers, where they pushed it over, got the first down, sent the game to the 2 minute warning, and then come out in victory formation the entire rest of the game out. That is how you finish a game. And ultimately, guys, what this game is going to be is about finishing a season. Because you know what? We are now into the fourth quarter of our season. We have just finished the third quarter of our season. I said coming in that what we wanted to see out of this third quarter of a season, what would be the improvement would be to go 3-1. You know, our first quarter of the season, the first 4 games, we went 1-3. We all wanted to lose. We were pulling out our hair. The second quarter of the season, we wanted to go at least 2-2. We had to do better than we did in the first. We got to be improving, right? We got to be peaking at the right time. We came out, we did that. We went 2-2. Although we got shellacked with that Oakland game and then that Atlanta game. And then coming out into the third quarter of the season, what I said was we wanted to see at least 3-1. 4-0 would be great. 3-1 would be what we're looking for. And you know what? This was a great third quarter. This was a huge third quarter for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because we are now 7-5. We are at the number 6 seed in the playoffs right now. Right now, as you heard our last caller just mention, right now we are at the number 6 seed, and we are inches away from claiming the division championship away from Atlanta. In fact, the only reason why Atlanta still holds the division championship is because they have a better divisional record. And the only reason they have a better divisional record than us is because they've played more divisional games than us. We still have 3 of ours yet to come. Guys, this game was about finishing. All right, Instant Cast Show, guys. This is a live call-in show. This is about your fan reaction. You guys have been doing so good. The lines are open. You can call into the show. You guys get to pick what we talk about. This is going to be your show, Bucs fans. This is your show where you don't just have to call in and leave a voicemail, though a couple of you guys did that. And if we get a chance, we're definitely going to listen to a couple of those. But for those of you who are listening live, you can call in right now. The number is 864-729-BUCS. That's 864-729-2827. You call in and you let us know what you want to talk about, and we'll be talking about those things. I've got a list of things that I'm willing to talk about, and we'll be here for, about the next, half hour, 40 minutes or so, somewhere around there, as we fill out this show. I want to say thank you to everybody who has been supporting the show, everyone who has been shouting out the show, tweeting about it, Facebooking about it, letting your friends know about it, because this Instant Cast Show has blown up. Do you guys know, especially for those of you who were here last week, the Instant Cast Show from last week became our fastest downloaded episode ever. Out of the main episodes, out of bonus content episodes, out of our Instant Cast shows all together, became our fastest downloaded episode, and it's currently sitting at number 4 as our most listened to episode. And that's not counting, by the way, though, the airplays and the people who listen to us on iHeartRadio, over on YouTube, the people who listen to us on Rat Pack Sports Radio, which we just got a message earlier this week saying that we were a top listener engagement for Rat Pack Sports Radio this past week. So it means a lot of people are listening to the Pewtercast, joining you guys. I love that this community is growing. I love what's going on here. We've got another caller coming in right now. Let's take this call, find out who is talking to us here at the Pewtercast Instant Cast Show. Who do we got on the line with us right now?
Hey, man, this is Josh from Tampa. How you doing, bro?
Josh, man, I'm doing fantastic. We're coming off a big win here. How about yourself?
Oh, my God, just another day in paradise, right?
Oh, man, I am in South Carolina personally, and I really wish I was in paradise. I got to tell you. Man, what's on your mind? What do you want to talk about?
Man, just the team in general, the direction we're going to, everything's trending up. Just love everything we're seeing on and off the field, off the camera, on the camera, how this team is just coming together like a family, like what they're pushing for, what Jameis keeps stating.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching his press conference. All he keeps saying, he doesn't use the word team. He uses the word family now. And because of that, I feel like he's revolutionizing this team. And I feel like we just have, hopefully the dark days are gone.
Mm-hmm.
This fourth game, I feel like was that statement game, putting that cherry on top just to let, people know that, it's not a fluke. I mean, we took out 4, playoff caliber teams. And, and also we've been awesome on the road, right? 5-1, I believe. So
yeah.
Just super happy, man. So excited as a Bucs fan.
Yeah,
the way that.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, just keep loving the way how our defense comes up in the most crucial times, getting that pick 6 right when we needed it. Levante stepping up, Vernon Hargreaves with that pass deflection. Everything's gelling right now, and You know, it's making Mike Smith look good. Dirk Cutter's, you know, he's looking like he's going to stay.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like he said, he needs to sign that 5-year extension.
Uh-huh.
So we could, we need to steady the ship and just build that cornerstone. And, you know, and I feel like the two most important pieces we need for that is a good head coach and a good solid quarterback who's going to be able to manage games and where we could just come out with a win.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like every week I've been watching. It's been progressively getting better, and like it's just so fun to watch, man. Giving us hope.
Yeah, it is, because you know what it means is even when the Bucs are down, you know what were we down 21-17 or something heading into the fourth quarter, that we can now go. We don't sit there and go, well, this game's done, because they can learn how to finish.
To have that feeling,
right?
Like I feel like we're just trained, you know, to have that feeling. Like, oh, I think, you know, you just don't have that good feeling where like, oh, we're gonna close this out and win it, and
right?
Like no worries. But I feel like every fourth quarter, it's still a little worrisome. So.
Right. Well, you know, and I think what we've learned from this game, that the real quarter to watch for the individual games, and I'm thinking this is going to learn. We're going to see this is going to be true over the season, which is why I keep talking about quarters of the season. But as far as games go, the real quarter to watch is the third quarter. The games that we lose, we lost them in the third quarter. You know, whether we get up or get down in the first half, whatever. And you know, the fourth quarter is where things kind of get closed out. They either get sealed or things don't get turned around typically in the fourth quarter. But it's that third quarter, that key quarter, how we play there, you know, and we take about tonight. You know, I had it listed actually as one of my notes to talk about with the third quarter. You know, we came out with the third quarter. This wasn't it was a decent third quarter. We didn't get owned. The game didn't get away from us. Now, we didn't put the game away either. You know, we still went in and did what we needed to do. We didn't lose this game in the third quarter. And of course we were able to come out and we didn't get trucked over. You know, offense had to finish drives. The defense can't get trucked over, and they didn't. And we were able to go out there and did what we needed to do in the final quarter to be able to win this game. And I feel like we're going to find that same thing to be true on our season. We came out and we had a terrific third quarter as a season. We went 4-0.
Yeah.
We went 4-0 in the third quarter. That just sets us up for a fantastic, you know, now we've got to finish the season. We got to finish it well, because we're now we're, so to speak, ahead, right? Like we're in the playoffs, right? We're like right now we're the number 6 seed. We're there. And
it's all about the playoffs now. So
exactly. And I mean, you imagine somebody like Gerald McCoy, who has yet to be in a playoff game in his NFL career.
Man, he's playing like he wants his ass in that playoff. So he's really stepping up, and all the McCoy haters, man. I gotta admit, there's times where I just, you know, I couldn't really handle him being on the team. He never stepped up, but I don't know what it is with this team. I don't know if it's like Robert Ayers coming in and just lighting the fire under everybody's asses. I don't know what it is, but everybody's stepping up on all ends.
Yeah.
And, you know, watching this game too, like the first half, you just kind of have that feeling like, oh, here we go again. It's the same Bucs thing. Like everybody is getting injured, you know. We're not.
Yeah, that was a scary first quarter, wasn't it?
Drive, and then we see freaking Roberto Aguayo miss a 31-yard field goal, shanked it, badly.
Yeah.
So the first half, I was like, wow, where did the last 3 weeks go? And then surprisingly, you know, this is what's building up that confidence for this team, though. Like, we're not doing the same Bucs shit. We're not doing the same, you know, stupid-ass mistakes we've been making in the past. We're learning from it, and we're just, you know, we're just trending up.
Yeah.
That's the only feeling I'm getting from this team.
Yeah, and you know, and that just goes to prove my point. Games are won and lost in the second half. Games are won and lost in the fourth quarter. Yeah. So you can go out and you don't, and that's what I mean. You don't have to have a killer first quarter or second quarter. Now, it's great to go out and get a lead. It's great to get some momentum and some energy at the very beginning of the game, but that's not where the game is won or lost. And how often have we seen the Bucs or any team across sports come out and have a dominating first half and then go out and lose it in the second half? I mean, does anybody remember the Washington game from last year?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's where games are won and lost, and that's why we've got to focus on those things. And this team is giving us, we can look at what happened. You look at what happened in the first quarter and the second quarter today, and we can still have hope to stay into it, and we're not all heading to our cars at halftime and leaving the stadium empty. And my God, can you imagine what Ray J is going to look like next week when the Bucs come home?
Oh, yeah, I don't want to see any black and gold jerseys in the lower bowl. I'm pretty sure that's what Dirk Cutter told us fans.
Yeah, I haven't watched that.
Gold jerseys down there.
Yeah, I haven't watched that. It would kind of disrupt the integrity of this show for me to go watch those things. But I saw several people on Twitter say that Cutter came out and said keep those jerseys out of the lower bowl. Keep them out of the lower bowl. And, for all the people and a lot of the media and a lot of people on social media and various places were giving Cutter a hard time when he started saying, hey, let's keep those other jerseys out of the lower bowl. And like, well, you got to start winning for us to do it. And he kind of went, challenge accepted. Let's get it done because we've got to keep those people out of there. And he's right. We've got, the fans have to be a part of this. That we as fans have to be a part of this.
Exactly. And that's just, I feel like it's tough being, a franchise here in Florida just because, we don't have really too many hardcore home-based fans here. We have a lot of people who aren't from Florida originally who have their own teams from wherever they came from. So, that's why the attendance can be so poor at times. But, seeing the team play like this, I mean, our city better rally around this team like how we rallied around the Lightning, the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I feel like the buzz is generating, I work in a restaurant and, I have a bunch of regulars who have season tickets and they keep telling me, they would always, give them away to family or friends. But now they're just keeping it to themselves because they actually have games where, that are relevant
and
why they bought the season ticket.
Exactly. And I mean, and there is something symbiotic about that. The Bucs need us out there and we've got to go out and do our part. And the other side of that is the Bucs have to go out and perform and give us a reason to come. Like it's very symbiotic. It goes both ways. You can't just put your foot down and cross your arms and say, I'm not going to do my part until they start doing theirs. When both parts start doing their thing, that's when everything works. And that's when we get a 4-0 record heading in. And to go back to what you're talking about, Josh, we're all feeling high. We're all just elated, and we're able to go into our next day. We're able to go into our next work week or our day off or whatever we have coming up on Monday. And it's awesome. Especially for those of us who live out of market and or even in market, and we work with people who are fans of the other teams, and we get to, I live right here in the middle. Like I'm right in between Panthers country and Falcons country. So I get them both. I get them both. I had dinner with a guy earlier tonight that was a Falcons fan, and there was a lot of trash talking going on over dinner tonight. And he's a good friend of mine, but that's what we had. So, well, Josh, man, thank you so much for calling into the show, man. I really appreciate you, brother.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, hey, call back for any future show, man. Love talking to you. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, you got it. All right, guys. Hey, listen, that's how the InstantCast line is open. The line is open. You guys want to call in? You pick what we talk about. The number is 864-729-BUCS. That's 864-729-2827. What is it you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about having to do with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, particularly with this game that we just saw, particularly with what's going on with the Bucs as a whole? We'll talk about anything that you guys want to. Hey, breaking news that I've just seen. Rendax over in my chat room just reported it, and it's been blowing up on my phone here just a few minutes ago. It is official, folks. It is 100% official. NBC has flexed, the NFL, I guess, has flexed the Dallas-Tampa game in 2 weeks to an 8:25 game in primetime TV. It's going to be on NBC as opposed to Fox. And thank you, Fox, for not blocking that, because Fox could have come out. They could have issued their flex block. Apparently, that's like something they have in their contracts that say how they can do things. So the fact that this is going on, we are now getting the type of attention that we needed. We heard rumors about this leading into this game for this week, right? We heard rumors that the NFL was considering flexing the Dallas game to a primetime game last week off the Seahawks win, right? I guess they just needed to see if we were serious, if we were really going to keep this up. So, I thought they were going to wait and see what happened with the Saints game. They've already flexed the Saints game, by the way. That Saints game was supposed to be a 1:00 game. They now put it to a 4:00 game. So, that just goes to say what I was talking about a little bit last week, which I was talking about before the season even started, was that Seahawks game was going to be the game. No matter how we did earlier in the season, if we won that game, we would start getting some national media attention. Because, the Bucs do not get much national media attention. But just like we have to give fans a reason to show up to the stadium to be there and to keep all the other color jerseys out of the lower bowl, we've also got to give the media a reason to cover the Bucs. We've got to give them a reason to start talking about us. And let me tell you what, Dirk Cutter, Mike Smith, Ted Monken, Jameis Winston, Mike Evans, Gerald McCoy, who else is back there? Levante David, Quan Alexander, Vernon Hargraves, Robert Ayers, all you guys, the rest of the team, you've given them something to talk about. You've given us something to talk about. Hell, I just found out just today, that there's another brand new Tampa Bay Buccaneers podcast that has just started in the last 2 weeks. And their little tagline is, we've never had to record a show where the Bucs have lost. Because they're that new. Do you know how many Buccaneers podcasts or radio shows have come up and popped up just this year alone? Because I got to tell you, when I started this show right after the draft this past year. I'm one of the new ones. When I started this show, there was two. That's it. And I think there's 6 of us now? 7 of us? A couple of them are media proper. A couple of them are former media proper that are still doing this. A handful of us now are, just fans. We're just a podcast. We're just a radio show by the fans, for the fans. That's what we are. Guys, this is going to be a fun game. By the way, I got to tell you, me personally, by the way my schedule works, we got to quit having these 4:00 games. The 8:00 game sounds fun. Now, we're going to have to figure something out with this. We may just push the start of this to as soon as the game is done. It's probably how we'll have to do it for that 8:00 game. That's probably how it'll have to work. I doubt we're going to start the show while the game is still going on. And that's okay. I'll stay up with you guys. I'll keep talking to you. But for right now, 10 o'clock is where this game is going to, or where this show is going to stay for how we're broadcasting live. What do you guys want to talk about? You call into the show. Phone line is open. The number is 864-729-BUCS. That's 864-729-2827. You call in. You pick what we talk about, guys. You pick what we're going to say and the things that we are going to cover. All right, what have we talked about so far? We've talked about Cutter's contract. We've talked about Mike Smith and having to retain him. We've talked about this as being a game of finishing. This game is a game that is teaching us how to finish, fans. Finish drives, finish games, finish scoring, finish the season. I think that's maybe the new hashtag this week. Hashtag finish the season. Finish the season. The playoff picture. We are now technically tied with Atlanta, sort of. Atlanta just beats us because they have a better division record. But they only have a better... It's hard to say they only have a better division record because they've played more games. No, they have a better division record because they've played more games and won more, right? Because, we could go in. We've got 3 division games left here over the next 4 weeks. And what if we wash out of those 3? Okay, we can't say that it's just because they've played more. No, they've played more and then they won that one. But Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week coming in against Saints. Now, you guys know, today, the Saints lost. I think our first caller tonight, Jonathan, he mentioned this just briefly. And I know in the chat room they've talked about how the football gods have been so nice to us. Saints lost today. Falcons lost today. Who else lost today that we needed? The Redskins, I think, they lost today. A couple of these other teams. Giants lose today yet? I'm not sure. I think we needed them to lose too. The Panthers are on their way to a loss if they've not lost already. Because they're playing. Who are they playing this week? Playing. Seahawks. The guys we beat last week. Philly lost today. That was good for us, right? Giants lost today. Thank you, Ren, over in the chat room. Steelers beat the Giants. There we go. Yeah, those are all things that help us. And you know what actually helped us, ironically, or not ironically, just oddly, is the fact that Dallas won. Now, I saw that game, Dallas and the Vikings, and that was a shady finish to that game. That was a horrible missed penalty call at the end of the game. Something should have been done there, but in the record book, as it goes down, Dallas won that game, and it actually helps us just a little bit because Minnesota was right there in the cusp of the playoff picture, and that knocked them down a little bit. So, guys, that's what the playoff picture looks like. If the season were to end today, we would be in the playoffs. When was the last time we could say that in December? If the season were to end today, we would be in the playoffs. We're not even in the hunt. Last year we were at 6-6 at this point in the season, and we were in the hunt. I would dare say today, if we were 6-6, if we had lost this game, we would still be in the hunt. But at 7-5, week 12, or actually, I guess it's week 13 for the season. But after game 12, we're 7-5. We're in the playoffs. Now we got to hashtag finish the season. Hashtag finish the season. All right, fans, what do you guys want to talk about? How was this game for you? You can call in. The number is 864-729-BUCKS. That's 864-729-BUCKS. Why don't you guys hold on to that? I've got a voicemail that I would like to play as we got in. It's our old friend, Aaron. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey there, Brent. It's Aaron Rutherford. Like I said, I'm going to leave you a voicemail because I won't be able to attend the InstantCast, unfortunately. Yeah, I know we had a whole disagreement about Roberto Aguayo, and in my mind, it may be probably not the best solution that a lot of people think it is, but this kid needs competition at the kicking position. Roberto basically got handed the job, and I don't care if he's a rookie or not. He's got one job to do, and it's almost like a bipolar situation. He's off and on so much that in my mind, he just needs competition. It's just become to the point where it's unexcusable that he's missing something like that. I mean, that's basically a field goal that he missed. What was it, 31 yards? I know you're still with 19, and I respect your point of view and all that stuff. Unfortunately, he's on my you-know-what list right now. I look forward to hearing your response.
Yeah, Aaron, thanks so much for calling in and leaving that voicemail. I think this is a great discussion to have. What do we do with Roberto Aguayo? Should we bring in competition for him? Or should we just let him run? Now, here's what Aaron's talking about is he and I had a little Twitter exchange today. And, what I had said was hashtag I'm with 19. Aaron had said he's back on the shit list. And I think I can say this is a PG-13 show, right? I can get that one in, right? He said he was back on a shit list after missing the field goal, the 31-yard field goal. And, here's the thing. I understand. I mean, I get it. Because, I got to tell you, when Roberto Aguayo still comes on the field, I still hold my breath. Like, I'm still, I don't know. Is he going to make it? Is he not? I don't know. And okay, let's talk about his missed field goal real quick. And then I'm going to come back to what Aaron's just talking about. I, for the life of me, do not understand how Roberto Aguayo missed that kick. I need somebody who is a physicist to come in and explain to me what the heck happened, because I saw the ball. It came off his foot. It looked good coming off his foot. It was headed right for the middle of the uprights. It was going to go in. And then it's as if It's as if we're reading Harry Potter and they're playing Quidditch and somebody puts a spell on the quaffle and it makes it veer away, or somebody cursed the bludger and it shoots after Harry Potter, or something of that nature. Just for some inexplicable reason, the ball starts going over to the right and winds up missing altogether. And even Roberto Aguayo, you saw, he went, oh my God, what? How does that, what happened? I do not for the life of me understand how that ball missed. I do not understand what spin and what aerodynamic thing happened that made a ball look like it was going straight for the middle of the uprights, all of a sudden veer off to, I mean, it looked like he was playing golf. He looked like me at the driving range is what it honestly looked like. I hit the ball and it winds up, it goes straight for a while and it winds up curving off. Maybe that's the same physics. I don't know. Okay, anyway, back to what Aaron's talking about. Do we bring in competition? I'm not saying that would be a bad thing. I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe competition wouldn't do him good. You know, because what are we going to do? Go with the guy who is great right now and let Roberto not get his reps? Because Roberto has the potential to be great. You guys, and that's the thing that I think I see about Roberto, is what I see within him is the same thing that Jason Light saw, and it's the potential. Roberto has the potential to be great. Now, is it possible that he could wind up being a big old bust? Yes, it is possible. I don't think it's very likely, but I do think it's possible. And if he's a big old bust, then you know what? He's a second-round bust. We've had other second-round busts. Hell, we had one this year. His name was Austin Safarian-Jenkins, a second-round pick that in the end turned out to be a bust because he couldn't get his crap together to be able to play this game. And if he really is suffering from an addiction, then I hope he gets the help he needs and that he can face it and call it what it is. I don't know that that's what it is. It seems like it to me, but I don't know. I'm not his keeper, but for whatever, he couldn't get it done for us in this team, and we had to let him go. And it was a bust of a second round pick. Is it possible that Roberto Aguayo could turn out to be a bust? Yeah, it's possible. I don't think it's likely. Yeah, I got to tell you, the last couple of weeks, especially, what was that game against the Chiefs? Where all we did was win off of his foot, and he went 100% for the entire game. By the end of the game, I was breathing a whole lot easier. So, I don't know. Hashtag, and here's what I said to Aaron on Twitter. I said, hashtag I'm with 19, hashtag because I have to be. Hashtag because they're not bringing in anybody else. Hashtag we've just got to roll with them. Hashtag the hashtag. Hashtag fly Gerald fly. Hashtag finish the season. I don't know that competition would be good for Roberto. I just don't know. Maybe having somebody in there to bounce stuff off of, maybe that'd be good. Maybe that's what him and Brian Anger are able to do. Can we talk about Brian Anger for a minute? Oh my gosh. Can this guy be a Pro Bowl punter? Do they have punters in the Pro? Did you guys go vote? Oh yeah, you can. I voted. Have you guys voted for Pro Bowl yet? I think the voting's still open. You can go do that. Go vote for Pro Bowl. Vote for the Buccaneers. People I think should be in the Pro Bowl. There's maybe a little preview for the main episode coming out. Who do you guys think should be in the Pro Bowl? Over in the chat room, drop it in the chat room. Let me know. Or give me a call, 864-729-BUCKS. Phone line is open, 864-729-2827. Who do you want to see in the Pro Bowl? Jameis Winston, I don't think he's going to make it. I think that there's other quarterbacks who are more established. I don't want to say better. I think they're just more established. And if Jameis gets into the Pro Bowl this year, it'll be because of what happened like last year where a bunch of people get dropped out. But I think he is of that caliber. I think he's there. I think Ali Marpet should absolutely be in the Pro Bowl. And I don't know that he will just because of name recognition. But I think he's earned it. I think he deserves it. Mike Williams, I think, is a first-round Pro Bowl. He's going to make it. And the only reason he wouldn't be in the Pro Bowl this year is if we're in the Super Bowl. I'm not saying we're going to be. We might be. Just saying. Mike Williams. Who else should be in the Pro Bowl? I think Gerald McCoy should still be in the Pro Bowl. Absolutely think Gerald McCoy should be in the Pro Bowl. I think Brian Anger, our punter, should be in the Pro Bowl. The man dropped a punt on the 8-yard line. And then the rest of the punt return team got down there fast enough. He let it hang up there long enough to allow our team to get down to the end of the field fast enough to force a fair catch. Dropped it on the 8-yard line. We have seen that time and time again from Brian Anger this season, where he pins that ball inside of the 10-yard line and gives us great position. And by the way, do you know what happened because of that? Do you know what happened because he was able to pin that ball on the 8-yard line? Phillip Rivers comes out, tosses a ball. Levante picks up the pick six. It gets batted around. Levante grabs it, and he walks it into the end zone. And Levante David gets a pick six. And the reason he got that pick six, because Levante David didn't get outran in that particular moment, although I think he could have had it been for a longer run. But Brian Anger set that up off of his incredible punt. I think Hargraves had a really good tackle to help out, but the defense scored the point. And guys, watch out. Yeah, I've said it time and again. That can't just be on the offense to score all the points. The defense has to put up some points. That was the challenge that John Gruden had for our defense when he came in. He said, defense, if you guys really want to be something elite, you want to be something really special, how about you go out and start scoring some touchdowns? And you know what? They did. And you know what happened? We went to the Super Bowl that year. Now, I don't know what happened after that, but that year it worked. I can tell you what happened after that. They broke up the team. That's what happened. They sold everybody off. That's what happened. All right, a couple people in the chat room. Let's see who they are putting down. We've got people that say Mike Evans needs to go and Cameron Brate. Now, there's a thought I have not had. And I voted for him because I'm a party line voter only when it comes to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so, yeah, Cameron Brate, that'd be a pretty good choice. I think he might be a year away. I don't know. Maybe he'll get it. Maybe he'll sneak in this year. That'd be really cool. Gerald McCoy should be in there. Ali Marpet, Jameis Winston, all comes from Rendax. That's who he says. Bucs Baller says Robert Ayers. That's a good one I don't think I mentioned. Robert Ayers. I think Robert Ayers absolutely deserves to be in the Pro Bowl. Gosh, how many Pro Bowlers is that? Is that 6, 7 Pro Bowlers right now? Winston again, Evans again, Quan Alexander. I don't know that Quan deserves to be in the Pro Bowl this year. I don't think he's got it. Now, if he would have continued to have games like he did against Atlanta where he got, 15, 16 tackles all by himself? Oh, my gosh. We need to see that kind of Quan every single game, and we've just not seen it. Now, he had a couple good plays today. I think I saw somebody, Pro Football Focus, that Yahoo group over there, said that Quan remains to be a big liability outside of a few really good plays. Oh, my God, shut up. Shut up. Quan is fine. He's in his second year, okay? He's doing fine. They're still learning a new defense, okay? I'm going to cut him a little bit of slack, but I don't think Quan's quite ready this year. Levante David, I just don't think he's had the numbers, and I hate stats because stats can be manipulated, but I don't think he's had the stats. I don't think he's had the numbers this year to really justify that kind of a thing. Brian Anger, I 100% agree. And Josh Robinson is in for Gunner for special teams. And yes, I think he deserves to make the Pro Bowl. I don't know that he will. Again, I think it's a name recognition thing. I think it's a team that he plays for thing. But yeah, that's who I think makes the Pro Bowl. And not makes the Pro Bowl. That's who I think should. We're going to talk about just a little bit of a preview. We'll talk about that a little bit this week on the main episode of potential Pro Bowl people for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's see what happens. Really excited, by the way, about the guest that we're going to have on the show this week. This is a first-time guest. This guest will be a first of their kind of a guest, which is very fun. And this guest this is somebody who was physically at the game, which is awesome. And I really can't wait to have this guy. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it because, weird things happen sometimes. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm super excited for the guest that we're going to have on the show this week. All right, I've got one more voicemail. Why don't we play this? I think this one may or may have not gotten cut off, but I like the first half of the voicemail. So let's take a listen to it. This is my buddy Nick here.
Hey, Brent, it's Nick calling in here. You probably know me from @NickCitro on Twitter. And I'm probably going to lose to you in fantasy, but that doesn't matter because the Bucs finally are on a 4-game winning streak. I can't remember the last time the Bucs had a winning streak this long, probably when they won the playoffs or lost in the playoffs in 2007, I believe. And I think the last time...
And yeah, he got cut off. Okay, so I looked it up. The last time they had a 4-game winning streak, I believe, was 2010. And the last time we made a playoff game was 2007. The last time we won a playoff game was 2002. Actually, would have been January of 2003. It's the 2002 season. In case you're wondering what Nick was referring to there, my buddy Nick, he is one of the fantasy football players in the first annual PewterCast Fantasy Football League, and he and I are playing each other today. Today is the end of our regular season, and he and I are tied. And this game, kind of like between the Bucs and the Falcons, whichever one of us was going to win is going to be the one who actually makes it into the playoffs. And I am looking at it right now. I'm currently beating him 83-82. And I have 2 players left to play. He has 1 player left to play. I've got both of my I've got a running back and a wide receiver to play. He has a kicker. His kicker is Adam Vinatieri, which could be very, very dangerous. I have Frank Gore and T.Y. Hilton, both from Indianapolis, who are playing tomorrow night. So it could be a close game, Nick. Really could be a close game. But as it is right now, I'm edging you out just ever so slightly. So let's see how things go with that. All right, guys, this is going to be final call. We are coming up on our hour here for the show. Final call for the show. If you want to call in, the number is 864-729-BUCS. That's 864-729-BUCS. You call in, you decide what we talk about. I've got time for maybe one more phone call if you guys want to call in. Otherwise, let's see here. Let's wrap up. Let's see what all we've got going on. Oh, a couple of little bits of business that I have to take care of. Let's talk about being in San Diego. San Diego is a historic town for the Bucs. You guys know this? I love it's part of just what I love about the InstantCast, because we get to talk about this. All right, San Diego. We went out and we capped off our third quarter of the season. Made us go 4-0 on the third quarter of the season, set up what really is going to be probably the most meaningful December the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have ever played. And I'm going to include that year that we went to the Super Bowl, because I think this year is going to be more meaningful than that one, because I believe that we had kind of already secured some stuff. This one is still right where we need to be. This one is still, things are still a little bit on the line here, more so than they were back in 2002. So I think this could be the most important December the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have ever played. And being in San Diego has set us up for that. Need I also remind you guys that San Diego is where a little event called the Super Bowl happened back in 2000, for the 2002 season. It was 2003. The San Diego and the Buccaneers might have, let's just say it was a good day for us. It was a good day. We won the Super Bowl out in San Diego. You go back even a few more years, the San Diego game, being in San Diego against the Chargers, was where Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp had that very famous moment where people started calling the Bucs the Yucks, and they said, "This ends now. This ends now. Absolutely ends now." And so for those of you guys that are out there, those Bucs fans who made it over to the game today, it's a little group that might be called the Buckaholics, the West Coast Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans, the Bucksaholics. This one, guys, just want to put this out, is for you as it comes out. California. Come on. San Diego. San Diego. San Diego. Oh, little California love. Thank you to all of you Bucs fans who showed up at the game. Thank you to the Buckaholics. Hopefully you guys got out there and you were able to head over to the Buckaholics, to their tailgate and take part of that and be a part of that. To the Buckaholics who have really been supporting Tampa Bay as they've been out on the West Coast a lot this year. They've been out there a lot. So little California love for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. By the way, that's probably my favorite song of the 90s. Probably my favorite song. If I want to go back, that's my teenage years right there. 1995 is when that song came out. I was 15 years old. It was a great song. Still is a great song. Still is a great song. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for today. I think let's go ahead. Why don't we wrap up the show? Guys, this was a good game. This was a good game. It was not perfect. But in the end, we did what we had to do. We did what we had to do to win. Defense held up. Offense put points on the board. And that's what it takes to win the game. You guys make sure you come back. Be on the lookout for our main episode coming up later this week. We've got a very fun guest, as I referenced just a few minutes ago. Should be super fun to have that. Should have it out Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday at the latest. Hopefully on the earlier end. So you guys be on the lookout for that. Catch us on Rat Pack Sports Radio, iHeartRadio, YouTube, or your favorite podcasting platform. Go like us, subscribe to us, leave us a review. And until then, guys, go Bucs.